Hi everyone. Today we are going to be discussing AP statistics. This is being offered as a complement to your what you're studying at your high school. You know, AP statistics is typically taken in either the 11th grade or the 12th grade, but then some people may take it earlier. You know, at Gnosis Learning, we typically provide both a app as well as a um, a live lecture sequence, and then we help students who we complement what you learn in school, and we help students with the free response questions, and also do well with the the multiple choice. So to give you a quick overview of AP statistics, see, our apps have what is known as in context learning. Now, the in context learning is overlaid on top of the book as part of the app. So, inside your app, you get this textbook, and along with that, you get videos and other slides and Q&A and other good stuff, so that you can prepare yourself more easily. And in case you miss something in school, you will learn it elsewhere. Okay, so that is the aim of the program, right? Now, what is statistics all about, right? Statistics is uh, uh, is about understand organizing and summarizing data on the one side, which is descriptive statistics, and then you learn about probability, and then finally you draw conclusions, statistical conclusions about the data that you're looking at. Today, as many of you know, there is this whole subject called data science. Many students who graduate from high school and who are interested in STEM based subjects like computer science and data science, this is a highly recommended course. We have a parallel course also which teaches AP computer science, where you learn Java, and we also have a Python course if you're interested in the Python course. Okay, and so you can join both courses, kind of in parallel, and then you can use that to kind of build your own projects, etc. Okay, now see, once you understand this term probability, right, then you go and learn inferential statistics, as I explained. Now, what is a statistic? A statistic, you have data, right? Now, it is data that is gleaned from raw data. It is data about the data, or what sometimes you can call metadata, or what you can call parameters, right? And you may already have seen some of these parameters, like mean or average, or descriptive statistics is about graphs, variety of beautiful graphs, and so that is the aim of statistics. It's a beautiful subject. I love statistics, and very often you hear so many statistics quoted in the news media, whether it is the situation with climate change, or whether it is the situation with the GDP, or the stock market, or employment data. Economics has this associated subject called econometrics, which deals with statistics, just like analytics in data science also deals with statistics. Today, statistics is a subject that you must take and do well in. If you're planning one of these, like social science courses, even psychology, or everything deals with statistics. Okay, so take a class in statistics and study it, and then you build your capability around it. Now, the other idea, in addition to these various parameters, is this idea that they call a random variable. Okay, firstly, there are two types of variables broadly in statistics. Okay, one is a categorical variable. What is a categorical variable? Okay, a categorical variable is a variable which places people in particular categories, right? So for instance, if you look at uh, you know um, people who study in your high school, right, and you classify them, okay, based on what they are going to do after high school, right? Some of them will say, I plan to go to STEM based studies. I'm going to go to community college on a to study STEM based programs. Someone else may say, I'm going to go to liberal arts. I'm going to study religion, humanities, painting, art, right? So you have people who go to STEM, right? And then there are who study pure science. Then you have people who study liberal arts, right? Then you have also people who study media, or matters around media, right? And then of course you have people who study social sciences, right? So there are a range of possibilities for students who are looking to take the next step, right? So and then professionals degrees like technology, etc., right? So you can study pure science, which is like biology, physics, chemistry, etc., right? Or mathematics, or you can so that kind of categorization is a categorical variable. Okay, now any number of categorical variables. Then there are numerical variables. The height of a person is a numerical variable, right? Now you can take a numerical variable and make it a categorical variable. The weight of a person is a numerical variable, but from the weight you can garner details that make it a categorical variable. Okay, now if you take both the height and the weight, then you can introduce terms that kind of mix the two, and then you can categorize people. You can say this person is obese. What does it mean, obese? It is that for a particular height for the person, their weight does not fall within a range. That's all it means. Okay, so those are, or that person is emaciated. You see all these pictures of kids in sub-Saharan Africa, who have not don't get enough to eat, right? So they are emaciated. So for that also they will have a statistic, nutritional requirements, etc. So you have numerical variables and you have categorical variables, and we study them with respect to a population. Okay, so now let's discuss the course itself. Okay, the course has 9 units and is typically taught over 1 year to high school students. Okay, now when they teach it to high school students, they aim to make it so that it is palatable. So the first 5 units are typically taught in the first half of the year, and the next 4 units are taught in the second half of the year. That does not mean that all these units have the same weightage in the AP statistics exam. In fact, it is worth noting that units 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7 have the greatest weightage. Now students who take it in the senior year, they're not so worried about how well it goes. But sometimes in certain colleges, if you take AP statistics, they may give you credit for it in your college. Okay, but it always helps to take it again if you like the subject. But and sometimes the treatment is different. Typically you get credit for a 1 semester course in statistics if you take AP statistics and the college allows. Sometimes they may ask you to take an exam for it, but otherwise you can relearn it. But it helps to take AP statistics going into, say, a data science program, and because it shows that you're prepared for it, and then you are ready to work with people on this. Okay, so the units 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7, right? 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7 carry about 70% or more of a weightage. Now 2, 5, 8 and 9, right? 2, 5, 8 and 9 carry about 20% between those 4 units. The other 5 units carry maybe 80%. Okay? So you must emphasize when you study. This is for the multiple choice section. Okay. Now this is the score distribution for AP statistics. Notice that getting a 5 in AP statistics is not that easy. It is in fact much easier to get a 5 in, say, AP Calculus BC, which would be very surprising, I bet, but that's how it is. And if a college demands the 5 before you are given credit, then you should aim for the 5. And of course, it always helps to do very well. But one should focus also on learning the subject when it comes to statistics, because it is used well into the future, right? Even medical people who go for medicine should learn statistics, because trials are an essential part of trials, and pilots are an essential part of medicine. Okay, so now let's take an example, right? This is a simple example. Determine what the key terms referred to in the following study. We want to know the average amount of money first-year college students spend at ABC College on school supplies that do not include books. We randomly surveyed 100 first-year students at the college. 3 of those students spent $150, $200, and $225. This is for supplies, right? So the population, what is the population, right? We were discussing population, right? Discussing that. What is the sample? A sample, population is everybody, right? What is the whole population? Everybody who goes to the college, ABC College, right? What is the sample? The sample could be only one set of students, or it could be a randomized sample. What is the parameter? Or in this case, what is the sample? The 100 students they are looking at. ABC College could have 20,000 students going at one time. Okay, what is the parameter? The parameter is the average. We are trying to understand the average amount of money spent. If you want to understand the average amount of money spent for the college, is this 100 student sample representative of the whole college? So the average is the parameter. The average is also the statistic, right? The average is the parameter, right? Now the parameter, when we typically use the word parameter, we are discussing a population term, the population mean. The statistic is that of the sample, right? The statistic is what you're studying, right? You could also be studying the statistic of the population, but that we call as the parameter, right? The variable could be the amount of money spent by one first-year student. Let X be the amount of money spent by one first-year student attending the college, right? So what is the variable looking at? Amount spent on school supplies, right? Now the data is all these individual values: student A, student B, student C, student D, and how much each of them has spent on dollar amounts that they spent in the first year for supplies. Okay, now, so as we discussed numerical and categorical data, right? Now the other name for categorical data is qualitative data. Qualitative data is, like, what is your hair color? Some students have brown hair, some students have red hair, some students have blonde hair, some students have black hair. What is your blood type? Some students have AB, some students have O, some students have B, right? Then what is your ethnic group? Those kinds of things. The car a person drives. Do you drive a Kia? Do you drive a Toyota? Do you drive a GM vehicle? Do you drive a Ford? The street you live in? All that is qualitative data. Now, quantitative data is what we looked at, like the pulse rate, the weight, number of people living in your town, etc. Right? So now all data that are the result of counting are called quantitative discrete data. Now you can have in addition two types of quantitative data. One is discrete data. When you toss a dice, right, what values can you get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 discrete values, right? Now uh, if you instead look at the amount of money that people make, right, that number is potentially a quantitative continuous data, right? Pure continuity means that you include the real line. Only the real line is purely continuous, right? And where you have infinite accuracy. But most often we say things are continuous, right? Because they are close to their, even though it's a discrete number, it can touch any of the values in a continuous line, right? 5.55, right? The stock market, we say it is continuous data. What is the price of a stock? Because we count even cents, right? But quantitative data is can also be discrete. Okay, now so a different ways of also collecting data and explaining it. Like for instance, this is a pie chart. There are many different types of charts, and here they use a pie chart to classify student statistics based on the year, whether they are a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, or a senior, right? Now that data is classification data, and you could build a pie chart. Okay, now here we are looking at ethnicity of students, right? Now the ethnicity of students, Asian, white, Hispanic, black, Filipino, right? Now the ethnicity of various students is can be different for different people, and there are many ways to chart it. This is what you call a bar graph. Each class is a bar. This is a pie chart, right? Now how are the two different, right? Now you can have a pie chart where you you can do both. You can have either an unknown category, right? And sometimes you can do without an unknown category. Okay, now in this chart, right, they do have an unknown category, right? Where's the unknown category, right? Now the chart level 1.10b is organized by the size of each wedge, which makes it more visually informative than the unsorted numbers, right? So here the wedges are 36.1, 24.5. They are in different places. Here they have sorted the wedges, so when you go from right to left, it is decreasing. Okay, so here also it is decreasing. Okay, so bars sorted by size. That is a Pareto chart. This is a Pareto chart, bars sorted by size. Now the other idea that we deal with in statistics is called sampling. In sampling, you can have a simple random sample. Okay, now the easiest way to describe is called a simple random sample. Okay, now random is very important. So when you have a random sample, you kind of mean that everybody has an equal chance of being in the sample. Okay, but sometimes you divide the population into groups, and then you take parts that are representative of the overall population. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So I divide the population into Asians, whites, Hispanics, etc., 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 and then I sample each of the groups. So I sample the Asian group separately, the white group separately, etc. But then I try to keep it overall the total is still represented. That is called stratified sampling. Now, to choose a cluster sample, you divide the population into clusters and then randomly select some of the clusters. To choose a systematic sample, randomly select a starting point and then take every nth number. Okay, so I take the 5th person, the 10th person, the 15th person, etc., 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 to get a 20% sample. Okay, now convenience sample involves using results that are readily available. Whatever is there, just take the people. Convenience sampling is not going to be representative. So that is as far as this course goes. I hope you all enjoy taking AP statistics. We will be publishing when the timings for the course, and you can all join the AP statistics class. Going forward, I would love to see all of you. Welcome to the course. Download the app. The site for the app, we already showed that, right? You can go to apexams.us/statistics. So www.apexams.us/statistics, and that will give you the location of the site for AP statistics. That'll get you the app. You can go there and you click download and you will get the app. All right. So once you have the app, you can then install it and then you can start studying from the app. See, what we do is asynchronous learning as well as synchronous learning. In asynchronous learning, you learn when nobody is around, and there's no teachers. You learn by yourself. Okay, and synchronous learning is when you attend a class and then you attend a tutorial, and you learn how to the material from a teacher, live lecture, and also go attend a tutorial session where we solve problems. Both will be made available to students as part of this course. So with that, I'm going to stop, and we will continue again next time.